Hello YouTube and welcome to Competitive Mediocrity, a channel where, while being aggressively on a budget, you still need to learn how to clean your stuff and maintain it. So today's episode is going to be more on the upkeep, maintenance, and cleaning and lubing. This is the BCA BC-9, and you may notice that I replaced the foregrip. As a matter of fact, I kind of feel this one is much more comfortable. A lot of people will debate about the direction of this foregrip. Honestly, it might be just pure preference. Anyhow, let's proceed to the field strip and cleaning and lubing of the BCA BC-9. As I mentioned before, BCA is a bufferless AR platform. BCA specifically has its own proprietary bolt. So instead of your standard AR having a buffer tube, or the stock is, where the buffer absorbs all the impact of the bolt, the BCA has a guide rod above here and the recoil spring. Also in the back, it has a piece of rubber that absorbs some of the impact. So let's begin the field strip. We'll make sure that the firearm is clear. We will use a tool to take the charging handle apart. Now, like most AR platforms, you would need to remove two pins. I am using a plastic pry bar. To be fair, I have no idea where I got it from, but this thing is pretty handy. It's plastic, it's not going to damage anything, and it also makes it easy to take the pins down. Once both pins are out, you can see the upper and lower start to separate. Also, per BCA recommendation, you pull the upper aside and you slightly rotate it. And here we are. At the moment of filming, I probably got around 1200 rounds through the BCA. So it's about 1100 rounds after BCA fixed it for me. One thing I want to note, that you can see this buffer right here is just a piece of rubber. And mine, as you can see, has taken some abuse. But I'm not too sure how long this part's gonna last. So most likely it's up to me to figure this problem out. After 1200 rounds, you can also see the hammer developed some marks, but on the touch, it doesn't feel like those are really deep grooves. And since I already cleaned it before, we're just gonna add some lube in certain parts that it needs the most. Also, I want to give a shout out to these guys, especially the location in Oviedo. And no, I'm not sponsored. They're just some cool dudes, I know. So looking at the lower, we would need to add a little bit of lube on the hammer itself, just a drop. On the extractor, where the bolt rides above. And per YouTube policy, no, I'm not modifying the firearm. I'm just oiling it and cleaning it. Let's get to the upper. Since we removed the charge handle, the bolt can easily slide out. Since this is a blowback operated PCC, most of the carbon buildup you'll have in this area. I use a brass brush to clean all the buildup right here, but I make sure that I apply oil first and let it soak for at least 30 minutes. The bolt is proprietary. As you can see, here goes the recoil spring. The takedown is the same as the AR-15 firing pin. The only thing that you need to keep in mind that this one has a spring. So make sure when you take it apart, you don't launch the spring into the stratosphere. When lubing the bolt, apply the lube to the areas with the most discoloration. Because most of the time this is exactly where most of the friction is happening. And again, since I cleaned this PCC before shooting this video, I'm just gonna apply a little bit lube for demonstration purposes. Cleaning the upper is pretty simple. The two areas you need to clean is the feed ramp, where most of the carbon builds up, and throwing some lube where the bolt goes. So after everything is clean and lubed, it's time to put it back together. We start with the bolt. We install back the charge handle. You apply just enough pressure for it not to fall off. And my personal recommendation is keep this tool with you while shooting the matches, because sometimes you can either hit something with the charging handle as it's reciprocating with the bolt. And one time I was unlucky enough to hit a barricade with the charging handle and to bend the bolt. Well, the repairs were not too expensive, but was definitely unpleasant. We take the guide rod and the spring. We take the guide rod and the spring and put it in the slot. Then we push the bolt with the spring. Now we are ready to put the things back together. Now this part is slightly trickier than your average AR-15 or any AR-9 PCC reassembly at that. We need to install the guide rod here and then just click both pieces together. And remember, slightly rotate the upper so we will go around the hammer. Some folks take the back side apart. That will release the guide rod and the spring, but you will need to remove the stock. You will need another Allen key, and we don't have time for any of that. Now a quick functionality check. The bolt goes back and forth. We check the safety. We press the trigger, check the bolt, it resets and shoots again. Charge the handle, put it back on safe, and here we are. That's all that you need to know for field stripping and maintenance of BCA BC-9. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and embrace mediocrity.